Welcome to video lesson 3. We are into the third video lesson of Microsoft Excel package. Now, in the previous lesson, we learned how to perform calculations. We learned how to use different functions. We learned the different categories of functions. We learn these math trigonometric functions. We learn their financial functions. We learn their statistical functions. We learn their logical functions, and we learned how to use some of those. Now, in this lesson, I want us to do something different. I gave you an introduction into how you can use functions to perform a number of tasks. But in this lesson, I want to make it more real life. So we're going to use the skills we've developed so far, and we're going to carry out a real life project, a mini project, so to say, and use how we can now apply the knowledge that we have in the real life. Now, to get started with that, what you're going to do is we're going to open a new, we're going to shift our focus into a new worksheet. So let's pick this worksheet called exam analysis. When I click exam analysis, let's change its name. Let's change its name to, I right click, I click rename. Let's call this one what do you call it? Let's call it transport. Okay, let's call it transport. Let's call it research. Let's call it research on. That could be a very long name. Let's call it transportation means. Let's call it transportation means. Transportation means, so we can call it means of transport. Means of transport. And great, this is what you're going to do. Now, I want us to carry out a mini project here. And this is what I want us to do. I want you to assume that you have gone out to collect the data in the field. And in this data, you're focusing to know the means of transport most people use in your country. And there are three means of transport. Either they use land transport, or they use air transport, or they use water transport, which means either they travel by means of water, they travel by means of road, and they travel by means of air. And so assume you've gone out to talk to people, different age groups in the entire population of your country, to determine what is the most common means of transport, or even better, to determine in terms of percentage, what percentage of the population in your country that travels through air, what percentage in your country that travels through the road, and what percentage in your country that travels through the sea or through the water. That means they use the ship. The other population means they use public transport on the road, and the other one means they travel by air, right? So assume you've gone out, you've collected that data, and now you've come up with your data, and you want to analyze that data to now determine the percentage of each group. Okay, the percentage of each group in terms of what percentage in your country travels by air, what percentage in your country that travels by the sea, what percentage in your country that travels by the road. That's the mini project that you're going to cover in this lesson. I want to show you how you can use Excel to actually carry out statistical data and then analyze that data and come up with conclusions. So to do that, we are going to enter new data here. First of all, we are going to have a title called means of transport, okay, or our country's means of transport, whichever title that you may feel comfortable with. Let's just give it a title. The title doesn't really matter. The key thing here is to know how to carry out that project and come up with conclusions. So now, like we did on the previous lesson, I showed you how to enter a title. So we're going to combine this range of cells here and you're going to give it a title that says means of transport in Kenya. If you are watching this from a different country, you can enter your own country. Means of transport in, you enter your own country. So let's highlight this, or rather let's select those cells, and let's go to home. Let's go to merger and center. Come to this small list down button here, click there, then you click merge cells. Right, so now we have one big cell. Let's type in means of transport in Kenya. Right, so we have our title, means of transport, means of transport in Kenya. And we can center align it. You just click to select the cell and then you click center align there, and then you can make it bold. Great. So now there are different means of transport here. We have transport by the sea, by the water, by the road. So we have road, and then we have sea, and then we have water, air. Great. Now let's assume that in our country there is a population of, for instance, 48 million, okay, or 45 million. Then you go out there, you collect data about means of transport, and then you discover that among the 48 million, about 30 million, about that million, they travel by the road. Okay, so we enter our that million there. These are the people that travel by the road. And then we have those who travel by the sea. You discovered it's about, let's say, something like 12 million. See, is that 12 million? Let's see, 12 million. That is, we need one more zero. 12 million. Let's change those who travel by the road. Let's say they are about 27. Okay, 27 million. They travel by the road. And then we click here. We have this 12 million who travel by the sea, and then the remaining group travel by, I want to click at the formula bar. I want to just make sure that you separate those zero spaces. And then now about we have a population of 48 million. Just taking an assumption, 48 million. So 27 million of them, they travel by the road, 12 million of them travel by the sea, and the remaining percentage travel by the air. And what's the remaining percentage? 27 plus 12, that gives us 9, that gives us 3, that is 39. So the remaining portion is about 9 million. So we have 9 million people. 9 million people who travel. Let's see, 9 million people who travel. Great. 90 million people who travel by air. And so let's we highlight those ones, we make them bold. And okay, so this is our data. Our data is very simple. but it will show you how you can use Excel to actually analyze data. So you go out, talk to people. These are the responses that you get. 27 million of those people, or the population in your country, they travel by the road. 12 million of them, they travel by the sea. And then 9 million of them, they travel by the air. And so now the question is, you want to know in terms of percentage, what percentage travels by air and what percentage travels by the sea and what percentage travels by the road. I would prefer that let's shape this in a different way that enables us to perform some calculations here. And so what we're going to do is let's change the arrangement of this data. We are going to have, rather we're going to have, here we're going to have the sea there, sorry, C, and you're going to have road here. Let's just rearrange the way the data is displayed here. And so those who travel by the sea, we have said they are 27 million. Those who travel by the sea, 12 million. Those who travel, okay, road, sea, this should be air. Those who travel by air, they are 9 million. Let's delete this. Let's delete this. Let me remove this bold. All right, so let's make this bold. Great. So now there you are. You have 27 who travel by the sea, 12 travel by air. Let's separate these zeros with spaces that to make it very clear. That's 1 million. Click on the formula bar, separate these ones with, great. All right, so there you are. That is your data. Now what we want to do right now at this moment is we want to find out of this population what percentage travels by air. So how do you calculate the percentage? How do you calculate the percentage? Now, first of all, let's get a total here of the total population, and we can have total pop. That's a total population. Of course, to get the total population, sorry, this should be total population. Of course, to get the total population, you have to add up this. So let's add them up. But before we do that, I want us to space or to increase the column width of this worksheet here so that we can see the figures very well. We learned how to do that. You come on the column header right here in between the dividing borders, then you click and you drag. Good, that is okay. Let's do it for this one. You click and drag. Great, that is okay. Let's do this one for drag. Great, let's do this one. Awesome. So now our title seems to be in the wrong place, so we are going to have to merge these cells. So select that cell and this cell, let's merge them together and make them one cell. So click right here, then I'll click merge cell, and then all right, no problem. So now the first thing is let's calculate the total population here. Okay, so it's simple. We already know what to do. You click where you want to place your answer, and then you go to formula, and then you go to match trigonometric function, then you look for sum. We want to get the total, so you look for sum. You're looking for S. Great. pick S, there you are, and then we want to add from here all the way to there. Okay, and then you click. Not sure what could be wrong here. Something is wrong. Add cells. Add all the numbers in the cell. We have some B4, C to D4. Okay, let's see what we get. Good. Seems like we have a problem here. Alright, the problem could be the space that I entered on these numbers. So let me remove those spaces. To add them up, you're not supposed to get 0. You're supposed to get a real value. You're supposed to get real value. You remove those spaces. The calculation should correct itself. Because what happens when you enter those spaces, Excel assumes that is data. They are not values. Great. Good. Notice now it has corrected itself. So the sum total population is 48 million. And by the way, while we are on this, you can also determine generally how you want your Excel to present numerical numbers. For instance, if I select this 27 million and I go to home, I can come here on general. Under the panel number, I go on general. General means the general format for any given value that you enter here. I can click here on general, and there are different options that I can pick. Number, this is how it's going to look like. If I pick number, it's going to have 0.00. If I pick currency, it's going to have a dollar here and a comma and another comma and then 0.00. If I pick accounting, that is how it's going to be represented. So you can pick how you want the number to be represented right here. If I pick a text, that is how it's going to be represented. And you can scroll up. Currently we are using general, which means there's no specific format. Okay, let's go with general. We know this is 27 million, but if this was something to do with money, or this was something that I wanted in percentage, then I can come here and pick percentage, and it's going to be represented with the end of it. If I click percentage here, you notice, and then I increase this cell, you notice it's going to give me percentage at the end here. Okay, so you can actually change your number format in Excel. You have that option. You just go to home, you come here, you click here, and you pick the format that you want. And you can get more formats. If you click more formats, more number formats, you can get more number formats here, from custom to text to scientific, time, date, and all that. So I'm going to cancel this one, and what I'm going to do is let's revert this back to general. All right, now what do you want to do? We want to know, in terms of percentage, what's the number of people that are traveling by the road. So what we are going to do is we're going to click here. First of all, let's increase the width of this column. So click and drag, increase the width, and then there we can include let's give it a title, something like percentage means of transport. Percentage means of transport. So I want to pull up my keyboard. So click the keyboard. I want to show you how to enter the symbol of percentage. Instead of writing, drag this one down. Instead of writing percentage here, like literally using labels, write percentage, which might take or may not look presentable, we can use this percentage symbol. How do you get the percentage? You press shift key on your keyboard, you hold it down, then you click here and you get percentage. So I have percentage there, then I can say means of transport. All right, I can pull down this one. So now what we want to enter here, let's enlarge this one. So we want to enter here is I don't think that is where we were supposed to put that one. So let's shift it to down here. Let's see where we can position it. I think it would be best if we have it here, percentage means of transport. So here we can indicate the percentage in terms of those who are traveling by air, a percentage in terms of those who are traveling by the sea. So we want to shift this to, and let's position it here. I can come and click here and type, but instead I can copy this and just paste it here. You remember copy paste in the first package when we are copying folders and pasting them? Same technique. So what I need to do is I need to click here, and that selects the entire data in that cell. And then how do you copy it? Actually, we don't want to copy, we want to transfer it. We want to move it completely from that cell to a totally different cell. So you click to select it, and then you use this cut command. If you can remember how we used to transfer folders, we used cut command. So I click cut, and then I come, I click inside there, and then I click paste. Click paste, and there it is. So we have shifted it from here to here. So if you want to move figures around and you don't want to keep typing them over and over again, and it's the same figure, you can copy and paste it where you want. Now with that in mind, we are going to have to enlarge that one. There you are. So here is where we are going to enter the percentage, right? So let's say, for instance, we want to calculate the percentage of population that travels by the road. What do you do? First of all, you click where you want to put your answer, and that's where we want our answer. And then we click where we are going to enter our formula, and our formula starts with an equal sign, like we always said. So you enter equal sign. You enter equal sign. Then from there you need to figure out what formula is going to give you the percentage of this population here that travels by the road. So we want to get what is 27 what is 27 million terms of percentage out of 48 million. So how do you do that? You can do that by, let's pick, first of all, you enter brackets. I showed you how to enter brackets. Just let me pull up my keyboard. I can click shift, and then I just enter those brackets, and I want to calculate. I want to pick I pick 27 million, all right, over, which means divided by, let's see how this one works, over divided by 48 million, and then I can close it. So I press shift and I use this one to close it. Okay, so that is like saying 27 over 48 and then times 100, so that we know what is 27 million in terms of percentage of 48 million. So times, I showed you how to use the multiplication sign. So you press down shift and then you use this one for multiplication. okay, and then 100. We want to times the 100, so I get 100. There you go. I put down the keyboard. So what we are saying here is 27 million over 48 million times 100, and it's going to give us the 27 in terms of percentage. Let's see whether we will succeed. If we don't, we're going to find another way. So we click here, execute. There you are. It's 56.25, and if we want, we can click here and have it represented in percentages. So you come down here and then you click here, and what just happened? Let me undo. All right, let's see. Okay, no problem. So we know that is 56.25%. Let's do for this one. We will know whether we are correct or not if those percentage do not add up. If this case becomes like the case of the latest elections in Kenya, where there was a complaint that the percentage didn't add up to 100, but they went to 100 plus, then we know that you are wrong. Okay, so let's see. Let's perform the same calculation for this. Click where you want to answer. You click there. You initiate the calculation by entering equal sign, and then we also enter opening brackets. I showed you how to enter them, and then we pick that value, and then we divide. And then we allow me to correct something here. Okay, you enter the equal sign, and then you pick this, you open with a bracket, you pick this value, you enter / for division, and then you pick this value, and then you enter brackets, and then you want to multiply that, so you enter the asterisk, the one that you use for multiplication, and then you multiply that one with 100, right? And then you press this green tick, and there you are. That one seems to be 25%. Let's see whether this math will add up. We get here, let's work on this one. What we have here is we clicked on the formula bar, we enter the equal sign, we open with the brackets, so we pick this cell. It's basically saying 9 million over, we pick this cell, which is 48 million, close with the bracket, and then you multiply that one with 100. You enter your 100. There you are. You click this green tick, and there you go. So now if you add these percentages, they should add up to 100. Let's see whether that is true. We have we have 56.25, add 25, that one becomes 70. What do you get? 81. Let's just do it. We have 56. We have 56.25 plus 25 plus 18.75. Just add this up. Let's see what we get. So just go to formula, just as a way to refresh your mind. Sorry, we go to maths trigonometry. You're looking for sum. We want to add this up, see what you get. We pick sum, and then What are we adding? We are adding from here the way to here, and then we click OK, and it gives us 100. So these percentages are correct. Now let's just make them bold. Go to home, let's make them bold. So now we have the values there in terms of percentage. So that is the formula you use if you want to calculate percentage. Notice we just entered the formula. Once you enter the correct formula on the formula bar, and then you click the green tick that you normally find here, you'll be able to get your answer. Not all the formulas that you're going to find inbuilt within Excel. Oftentimes you might want to perform a very complex calculation that you really have to enter the formula yourself, that you cannot pull that specific formula from the function and apply it because it is not there. So you have to master and have an understanding how to apply the formula yourself. Once you know the formula, you enter the formula, the rest Excel will do it for you. All right, now that we have those values, what if I now want to present this information in terms of chart? How do you represent this data in terms of a chart? First of all, what kind of a chart do you use? Let's go to charts. Insert, these are different charts. If you want to represent the data whereby you are focusing on a given percentage out of a population, pie chart works best. Okay, pie chart works best. You want to know what's the portion of a given set of data among a bigger set of data, and in that case you use a pie chart. So let's apply pie chart in this lesson and let's see how that one works. So we are going to select the data that you want, and the data is just these two. Okay, the percentage is not included. The percentage means of transport is not included. Why? That is a calculation. We just want the data that we entered. So we pick road, we highlight that data. That's all that we need. All these other calculations, we don't need them. So we highlight the data, and then you go to insert, and then we come to pie chart. And you click pie chart, you notice there are 2D pie chart. This is 2D pie chart, two-dimensional pie chart, and these are 3D pie chart. This one whereby it is exploded into the pieces are separate, and you can see each piece. It's the same case here. And you also have this one which is pie to pie. Okay, and this one says extract, this one says extract some values from the main pie and combine them in a second pie. We are interested in a simple pie chart like this one or this one. Let's do a 3D pie chart. Okay, so we're going to pick 3D, and here's the chart. So this chart, it's a pie chart. It has a key, or what you call a legend, and the blue represents the road, the red represents the sea, and the green represents the air, or the population that travels by means of air. And we can, like always, you can move a chart. You basically bring your mouse pointer over the chart, you click, you hold it down, and then you can drag it where you want. So let's place our pie chart there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to improve it. We're going to give it a title, and so you select the chart, and then you go to layout, and then you go to chart title, and then you come to, let's put the title above the chart. So click there. Let's call this one population. Percentage means of transport. Population percentage means of transport. Or we can write the percentage in terms of symbol, so we don't have a long title. Population means of population percentage. Population percentage means of transport. Then you click away. So there you are, you have your title. Now when you bring your mouse pointer over any piece of pie, it's going to indicate to you what percentage that is. And this one says a series, this is rod, and it basically rounds off this value and says it is 56%. We know it's 56.25, but it seems to round off. This one 25%, this one 19%, seems to round off. Now what if we want to show the values on this pie so that you don't have to point at it to know what that is? What if we want it to include the labeling and even the percentages? How do you do that? It's very simple. First of all, select the chart and then go to go to layout, and then you go to data labels. You click data labels and then click more data labels, and here we are. Now this is format data label dialog box, and using this one you can determine what you want to display here. Let's say for instance we want the names to be displayed rather than just see a blue. You want to know what blue is, so let's click series name. Let's remove value by clicking deactivating value, right? And then you can determine where you want to be placed. If you click outside the end, notice they are placed outside the end. If you click inside, they are placed inside. If you click center, they are placed center. You determine where you want them. Let's have them inside, and then let's see close. Now we seem to have a problem because we have series instead of rod C air. Now as we figure that one out, let me show you something else. Let's go back there and let's go to more data labels, and let's see here what we need. Let's pick let's say we want to see in terms of percentage. Let's pick percentage there, and let's deactivate series name, and let's see what you see. So now if you click close, you will not only just see the portions, but you're going to see the percentage of each portion. This percentage, this percentage, this percentage. Now is there a way that you can represent this one even better, whereby instead of having them labeled as series, we can have them having the actual label? Probably. Let's see. Let's pick this rod. I'm going to copy. I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to paste it here. I'll paste, and then I'm going to pick this data here. I am going to copy it, and then I'm going to click here, and I'm going to paste it there. We want to rearrange the layout and see what happens. Paste, and then I'll pick the C. I click copy, and then I click where I want to be pasted, and then I click paste. I click paste, and then I pick the data, select the data, and then I click copy, and then I click right there, and I click paste, and then I pick air, I click copy, and then I click there where I want to paste it, and then I click paste, paste, and then I pick the data. I click copy, then I click where I want to paste it, and then I click paste. Now we want to see now if we come up with a pie chart with the data arranged this way, we will be able to change this label so that I can show this is rod, this is sea, and this is air. Let's see that that is possible. So we highlight the data, and then we go to insert, we come to pie chart, then we pick the pie chart. Okay, we have another pie chart. Sorry, I seem to have exploded it. That was actually, let me undo that. Good. So now we have the same pie chart, but let's see whether this time around it's going to be different. Let's select now the chart, and let's go to layout, and let's go to label, and let's go to more data options, and let's pick series. Let's click close. Great. Now it doesn't seem to be different, so I just figured out where we are not doing it right. Let's come back here. We want to change, instead of having just the portion, the percentages, we want the label rod, sea, air. So let's see whether we can fix this. Now you select the chart, again you come to, of course, layout, then you come to data label, then you come to more data label option. Now in this category, pick category name, not series. Activate category name like that. The moment you activate category name, each percentage will be represented by the actual label, rod, air, and sea. Okay, and then you click close. So now you have, if we want, just a minute, let me show you something. If you select the data again, we go to data labels, more options, and then we deactivate this percentage, and then you close. You will not see the percentage. All what you see is the label. This is air, this is sea, and this is rod, but you don't see the percentage. Okay, so you can decide whether you want to see the percentage, or whether you want to see the label and the percentage, or whether we want to see the actual values. Here what we have here is actual values. We have the actual value is 9,000. The actual value is, sorry, 9 million. The actual value here is 12 million. The actual value here is 27 million. Now let's change this one from series to label. Select the chart, go to layout, go to data label, come down to more data label options, deactivate series, and activate category name. Then make sure you activate value, so you are shown the values, not the percentage, but the values, and then you close. So there you are. Now what you have here is the label and the value. Now we can push this one a little bit on the side there, push this a little bit, sorry, undo that. We push this one a little bit here, and we can add a third one. We just highlight this data. Let's add a third pie chart. So we go to insert, pie chart. We can get the 2D pie chart, and you can do, and this is the difference between the 2D and 3D. So I want to move, sorry, undo. I want to move this chart somewhere here. Let me move this on a little bit. I want you to be able to see all of them. And so let's see, kind of move this on a little bit. All right. Undo. Okay, they can overlap, no problem. or we can just use this one and scroll sideways and actually move this one somewhere where it's visible on its own. Great. Now on this one shows the label and the value. This one here shows the label, no values. This one, the label and the value. We want this one to show the label and the percentage. So you select it, select the chart, go to layout, data labels, come down to more data labels and pick value. Actually pick percentage, deactivate value and pick category name, and then you can click OK or other close. So there you are. So now this one shows the label and the percentage, and this one shows the label and the value of each portion, and then this one shows the labels only. So that is how you come up with data. You analyze it and then you create a chart. What is a chart? A chart is a graphical representation of a data, whether that chart is pie chart, line chart, or whichever kind of a chart. That is how you do it. Now we want to make a copy of this work into a new worksheet, and we do a little bit of modification by using a different kind of a chart apart from pie chart. By the way, we can, let's give this pie chart's title. So we click here. I can actually click here and highlight. Just like we learned how to highlight in Word, you click, hold down the leftmost button, you drag. I want to copy that, so I highlight it. Once highlighted, I go to home, then I click copy. I want to copy and paste it here, so I'm going to click this one, and then I'm going to go to layout, I'm going to go to chart title, I'm going to click above chart, and then I just paste. Now let me show you a different way of pasting. There are three ways that you can copy and paste. First one, we've already learned how to do it. The second one, when you copy something and you want to paste it, all you need to do is you go to the keyboard. Let me pull out my keyboard here. You come to the keyboard, in your keyboard, then hold down shift. So you click shift, you hold it down without releasing it, you click V. If you click V, it will paste. There you go. You notice the has pasted population percentage means. If now I click away, all right, problem is this one. Problem is we have to replace this chart title. So just click inside the chart title. I highlight the chart title. The chart title. Okay, let's try. Click the chart title. You highlight the chart title and then you pull out your keyboard. All right, you click Control and then you click paste, and it should paste and replace that chart title with a new title. Again, it's very simple. Highlight here the title, okay, and then you can click copy. Go to the next chart. Right here you are. Now once you select the chart, you can go to layout, then you click chart title, and then you click above chart. When you click above chart, you're going to have this one indicated chart title. Now you don't want it to be chart title, you want it to be replaced by a very specific heading like this one. So you need to highlight this chart title first. Click at the beginning and then you highlight. Hold down the leftmost button, drag to highlight it. Once you highlight it, you need to paste. Once you paste, whatever you have highlighted to be replaced by what you paste here. So if highlight it, how do you paste? you can press Ctrl and V in the keyboard. You press Ctrl, hold it down, and then press V, and it will paste what you copied. So let's do that. Let me pull up my keyboard. I'll click here. I have my keyboard here. I click and hold down Ctrl. Holding down Ctrl without releasing it, I press P, and it will paste your data there. And then I can pull away my keyboard and click away. And now they both charts have title. All right, now let's go to the final bit of this, and that is what I want us to do is we're going to make a copy of this. All right, we're going to make a copy of this, and then I will show you how to work with the line charts. We'll see whether we can represent the same data on a line chart. You already know how to make a copy, so I'm going to right click, and then I'll click move or copy. I'll click create a copy, then I'll click OK. So I have a new copy here. Where's the new copy? It's the new copy. The original copy is here, and the new copy is here. And in the new copy, I want to remove all this. I don't need these ones, so I'm going to remove all of them. You just select it, you press delete on the keyboard, it's gone. You select it by clicking the chart. Let me pull up my keyboard. I'm just clicking delete and it's gone. Pull away my keyboard. So now, how about, can we really represent this data not using a pie chart, but using a different set of a chart? Guess we can do that. Let's delete this one. It's not actually necessary. So let's see whether we can represent this data using a different type of a chart and how that one goes. Let's highlight the data. That is the data we want to represent up to that point. And then you go to insert. Let's try all right, let's go to column chart. Let's see, we can use what we call stacked chart. Let's see what we are going to get. This is a, let's see the stacked chart. Stacked chart might not work well. What happens with the stacked chart is it is going to add each value on top of the other. Let's pick one, and let me show you how this one works. Let's just pick one stacked chart. Whether it's 2D stacked chart or 3D stacked chart, they work the same. So pick stacked chart column. Here they are. Okay, great. This one seems to give us a good representation actually, because you can see the rod races up to above 25,000. You can see the sea, you can see the air. So you can represent this data in form of stacked chart. Problem is, here in the series you're only getting one, but don't worry about that. Now you can also give it a title if you want. What is important is you can see the rod, and you can see the sea, and you can see the air in terms of percentage. Now this one may not be one of the best, since you can't really figure out actually by looking at it. It's not that good, because this, just looking at these values, this is 50 what value is this? This is 5 million, this 10 million, 25 million, and it's going all the way up to that million. Yet we know our total population goes up to 48 million. So this one may not be the best. Let's try a different chart. I'm going to select this chart and I'm going to delete it. Let's try a different chart. Let's go to insert. We go to column chart. Let's try line charts. Go to line chart, and let's see which one can represent our data well. Stacked line, 100% stacked. Line marks, stacked line with markers. Let's try the 100% and see what we get. You just click it, and this is what you get. Again, you notice this may not be the best, because what you're seeing here are percentages. This is rod, this is the sea, and this is the air. So again, there's no much that you're getting out of this chart. So let's delete the chart. What if we have the data represented in a different way? Can we get better results? Maybe. So let's undo. I'm going to use undo until I have my original data restored back. This is the data that I'm looking for. What if now we have the data arranged this way? Let's try those charts and see what we get. We highlight the data, and then we go to insert. We pick column chart, and let's try what you tried just a few minutes ago or a few minutes ago, and that is stacked. Click stacked. Is it better now? No. Okay, doesn't give us something really that presentable. Let's try this one, stacked to the line markers. Right, you can see air is about 9 million, somewhere here. C is about 12 million, somewhere here, and then we have rod is about 27 million. Okay, this comes close, but it may not be one of the best. So what you notice is a pie chart will give you a better representation in terms of, if you're dealing with the data whereby you want to see the different percentages, then pie chart works better for you. Now, we can also use the chart that you used previously. So go to insert. You can use actually column chart and use the clusters. You can even also use bar chart like this one and use the clusters. So let's say we want to use 3D cluster chart. Let's see what we get. Click there, and here you are. And what you're able to see is, again, you can see air, certain percentage, sea, certain percentage, and rod, certain percentage. While it may not be one of the best, it's actually not that different from the rest of the chart that you've just done. So if you want a data that's going to show you different percentages, pie chart works best. And that is how you use charts with the real data. Now, we're going to do one more mini project, and then we're going to wind up with this lesson. By the end of this lesson, I want you to be able to know how to apply Excel in real life. We've just done a mini project whereby you assume yourself as a researcher or data analyst. You've gone out in the field and you've collected data about the population. You want to know their means of transport, and then you just done it here, and you've analyzed it, and you've come up with graphs that show the percentages in terms of how people travel. And you can apply that in different ways. You can decide to apply that. You can assume you've gone out and you want to really understand the level of education of the general population in your country. Let's say, for instance, just do this one very quick. I want to give you hands-on experience on how to use Excel. Let's say, for instance, you go out and you want to know the level of literacy in your country. Okay, so let's change this title, and let's say let me delete it. Let's call it general population level of education in Kenya, for instance. Now, what you're going to do here is, let's assume we go out and we want to really, the government really wants to understand the level of education of its citizens, so that it can determine whether it's doing well in the education sector as far as ensuring that people are literate or educated, or whether it needs to do much more. It was to know, in terms of percentage, how many people have gone up to secondary level, how many people have gone up to college level, and how many people have gone up to university level. Okay, the government was to get that data, because from the data it would be able to understand whether it's doing well in the education sector in terms of ensuring that the general population really gets education, or whether it needs to do more on the education sector in terms of helping people be able to access good education. If the government realizes, for instance, that there's a bigger percentage of people that have gone only up to secondary level, what does that mean? That could mean college level education is expensive, and so people are not able to afford it. By collecting the data and being able to know the level of education for the general population, it can tell whether college level is very expensive and whether it need to be subsidized, or whether it's easily accessible and most people have gone up to college level. It can also tell whether it's very expensive for people to access university education, because if the data reveals that most people have not gone up to university level, then that could mean university fee or university level of education is very expensive for the general population. And with that data, what can the government do? The government can decide, we are going to subsidize the university education so that people can easily access that education, and by subsidizing it, we are going to have most people going up to university level. Okay, so to make this decision, the government would have to collect the data, analyze that data, and then determine the level of education of its own citizen. And with that data, I can really figure out whether education is expensive for the general population or not, and then from there make the right decision to make it easily accessible. And so let's carry out that mini project. Let's go out, let's collect data. So what we're going to have here is we are going to have general population level of education in Kenya. I think that is okay. If you're taking this course from a different country, you can enter the name of your own country here. You don't have to enter Kenya. You can enter the name of your own country. And so let's do this one. Let's say, and in this case, in this particular case, I am going to take the levels of education that we actually use here in the country. So we are going to have primary level, and we are going to get the people who have gone up to primary level. And then actually let's alter this data. Let's start here. It's going to be primary level, I'm going to have to delete the whole of this because I don't need it. I will delete the whole of this because I don't need it. So creating a new data here. So primary level, actually let's have illiterate. Okay, that means that person never went to school. Let's just say no education. And then here is up to primary level, and then here we have people who have gone up to secondary level, and then we have people who have gone to college level, and then you have people who have gone to university level, All right, so now let's bold them. You highlight them and then you click bold. So now you have this data that you want to actually research. So you've been given the task to go and carry out this research. So you have your laptop or you have your tablet, and what you do is you open your Excel data, you go out to talk to people. You want to know those who have zero education, no education. That means you're going to have to interview people to know their level of education. So you go out, you collect data, and let's assume that we have a general population of about 48 million again. So you go out, you talk to people, you collect data about their education, and you realize people have zero education. That is, people have never gone to school. We have like a population of about 1 million or maybe 900,000, and that is these are people who 900,000. Yeah, these are people who have never gone to school. And then you have another group of people who have gone up to a primary level, and that is about 12 million. Okay, 12 million have gone up to primary level. And then you're looking for another group, and then you realize there are people who have gone up to secondary level, and this is about maybe something like let's see, this is how much. Let's see, this goes up to what? This goes up to 21 million. Okay, 21 million people have gone up to secondary level. Then to college level, the number really starts to drop. We have only about 8 million, actually 7 million. Out of the general population of 8 million, only 7 million have gone up to college level. And then we have people who have gone up to university level. And people have gone up to university level with about, let's say, 3 million. Great. Now we want to make sure this totals up to a population of 48 million. Let's assume we have 48 million. So we want to make sure this one will add up to 48 million. So I want to add this up. Let me see that they give me 48 million. So I just go to formula, and I go to mass trigonometric. I am looking for sum. SSS. Great. So pick sum. Here we are looking for sum of all these. I select all of them. There you are. Then I click OK. Now this is a population of about 25 million. So I might need to adjust something. Let's say those who have zero education, they are like 9 million. Primary education, let's say they are about 18 million. What did I just do? Undo, redo. Okay, seem to have made a mistake there. So let's say 1 million, sorry, 18 million. 18 million. Those people have gone up to primary level. The people have gone up to secondary level, and these are about 27 million. 27 million. And then you have that group. Sorry, was that 27 million? 27. I think no, it should be 27 million. And then you have another group. Okay, that if something is wrong. This is this 18 million? That's 18 million. And this is 27 million. Okay, this 27 million. something doesn't seem quite okay here. So what's this? This is how many million? 55.5. No. So let's reduce this number. Let's say this group, this group's about 21 million. Great. So just wanted to average somewhere close to 48 million. So let's say this is not, it's about 1,200,000 people. Great. So out of a population of 48.1 million, this is how this is the different levels of education for the general population. We have about 900,000 people who have zero education. We have about 18 million people who have gone up to primary level, and then we have about 21 million people who have gone up to secondary level, and then we have 7 million people have gone to college level and university level up to 12 million. Now, so you go out, you collect this data. Remember, when you're collecting data, you don't know the specific level of education for any particular group until you analyze the data. So we've collected this data, we don't know what are the percentage until we analyze the data. So now we want to analyze the data, and so what you're going to put here is the percentage level of education. So I can click there and just click at the formula bar and enter percentage level of education. And now I'm going to use Excel to analyze this data and determine the percentage level of education for each of these categories. So let's start with those who have gone up to secondary, those who have no education, in terms of what percentage is that. To do that, I'll have to make sure that I have the total here. So let's have the total here. Okay, the total population, let's add up to get the total population. We need it in order to do our calculations. So scroll, I'm looking for sum, and here it is. You click sum, and we want sum for that range of data. Click OK. Great. So this is the total population, and we can just label it total population. So we go out, we collect data, we talk to about 48 million or 48.1 million people. Okay, and we are asking them, how far have you gone in your education? So we have all these responses. So now let's see what percentage of population that has no education at all. To do that, you'll have to analyze this data by performing very specific calculations. So we want to start with no education. I want the answer there, so I click there, then you click there and then you enter equal sign. This is not different from what you did the other time. You just open with a bracket, and then you want to know the data of this data here. People have never gone to school. So I click the cell that holds that data, and then you have to divide it with the total population, which is 48.1 million. So select it, and then you close with a bracket, and then you multiply with 100. Sorry, something didn't go quite right. Okay. Okay, let's start again. Something didn't go quite right. Okay, so now here we are. So now we want to multiply that with 100, so that you can get in terms of percentage 100, and then you click green tick. There you go. So this is about 1.8%, which means most people are not illiterate in this country. And then let's click a drag to get the result for the rest of the levels. Okay, and we have a problem there. Let's see what the problem is. C4 stroke C4 C9. Where's C9? Okay, we have a problem. All right, the reason this one cannot work is because we are using this value to determine the percentage of all this, so you cannot drag, you'll have to do them one by one. So I'm going to click there, and I'm going to remove these ones. Let's do them one by one. So I want the next answer there, and so I am there. I enter equal sign, so I'm looking at this population. Actually, I should enter, you enter bracket, then we are looking at primary level, so you pick the population that has gone up to primary level, and then you have forward slash for division, and then you want to know this number over this number here, the total population, close with the bracket, and then you enter multiplication sign, and then you multiply with 100. Okay, press enter. Great, that is about that 7.4% of the population have gone up to primary level. Let's go to the secondary level. Same procedure. You enter equal sign, open up with a bracket. You want to know the percentage of that population, divide with the general or over the overall percentage, close the bracket, and multiply that with 100 to turn it into percentage. Click the green tick. There you are. About 43.6 have gone up to a secondary level. Then let's go to college level. Equal sign, open with a bracket. We want to know this population over the general population, which is 48.1 million. Right, something is wrong. Cancel this and this. Okay, now this is supposed to be a forward slash, so a forward slash there, and then you have the total population, close with the bracket, multiply with 100, and then you'll be able to turn it to percentage, and then press enter. Then I go to the second to the last, same procedure, open with equal sign initiate any calculation. Any formula you apply, you're going to have to use equal sign first. That will trigger Excel, or will communicate to Excel that you want to perform a calculation. And so so let's see. So you have equal sign there, and then you open with a bracket. We are looking at this population, and then divide, forward slash, and then we are looking at the general population, and then you close with a bracket, and then you have to multiply, then 100. Great, press enter. There you are. Right, there you are. So now these are the percentages. Okay, you can tell 1.8% of people have never gone to school. That is really, it's not as significant. That is 7.4 have gone up to primary level. That raises a concern. The number of people that have gone up to primary level should be very high. When it's this little, it may raise a concern. And then secondary level. Now that secondary level, the number of people that have gone up to secondary level is high, as compared to the number of people that have gone up to primary level, that may mean accessing secondary education is not expensive. Simply, it can mean that these people who have gone up to primary level, it's because they didn't really want to proceed up to secondary level for some other reasons, not because of financial challenges. And we can really figure out that because when you look at the people that have gone up to secondary level, the number is high as compared to those who have gone up to primary level. That means the other factors that have resorted to this percentage not going up to secondary level, and those factors probably have nothing to do with the finances. But now when we get to college level, you realize 14.5% of the population have gone up to college level, and when you go to up to university level, you realize it's 2.4. Now what that means is there's a trend here that the number of people that have gone up to college level have dropped significantly. Notice 43.5, almost half of the population, they have gone up to secondary level. So if we have very small significant number of people that have gone up to college level, it might mean that college level is expensive. And now at this point, once you analyze this data like this, the government might realize that it needs to do something, probably subsidize college level, so that this big number of people that have gone up to secondary level, they can proceed up to college level. And then you go to university level of education, you realize it's just 2.4. I mean, this is significantly very small number. So again, this might tell the government that you need to do something about university education. It might be very expensive, and that's why people are not able to access it. So that could mean you subsidize university education, or you give more help loans, and you make the help loans easily accessible to the general population. So basically, by feeding your data and being able to analyze it, then you can come up with some conclusions that will help either the government, or if you are working in an organization, the organization to make better decisions. Remember, this project could be anything. It could be maybe you are tracking daily sales in a given month. You want to know how much sales did we make this month for this product, how much sales did we make this month for this product. So several products, and you want to see how much of sales did you make for each of those products. If you notice that you sold more of a given product and less of the other product, it could mean that there's no market for that product that you've sold less for, or probably it could also mean that you're not doing good marketing on that product that didn't pull a lot of sales. So we analyze data to be able to make decisions and figure out a situation and come up with solutions, right? Now that you've got a basic understanding of how we use Excel, and that can really be valuable for any business. Excel can be valuable for business people, it can be valuable for salespeople, it can be valuable for accountants, it can be valuable for the government, it can be valuable for research institution, it can be valuable for non-profit organization, it can be valuable, it's actually applicable almost everywhere, because it helps you analyze data and make key decisions that can lead to improvement. Now, having understood that and why this is important, let's do one final bit, and that is, let's now represent this data to the government in a very simple way that the government can easily analyze. Remember, when you have all this data, most people will not be able to figure out what's actually happening here. But when you present this data in a graph, people are visual. They can actually look at the graph and say, oh, so we have a smaller number of people that are going up to university level. Probably have a problem there. They are able to look at the graph and easily interpret all that you did and come out with better conclusions. So let's make it easy for the government to actually analyze and easily understand what happened when we went to the field and the conclusion we came up with. It's good to use again pie chart. It's one of the best to represent this kind of data. So what we do is we go to insert, and we come to pie chart, and then we can use this one. You can even use the broken pieces of pie chart. It still works. You click the broken pieces, only that, sorry, let's delete it, only that it's going to show the pieces in a very exploded, or yeah, we exploded the pieces, exploded rather than pieced together. So let's do it. First of all, you need to highlight the data. Remember, you don't include this calculation, so you have to highlight up to that point. Don't include this calculation, don't include this calculation. Excel will be able to figure out the calculation itself and give it in terms of percentage. And so we go to insert, we come to pie chart. We can use the exploded type of a chart. And so you're good to see the exploded different percentages here. That looks great, but let's use the one that's pieced together, because it helps, gives us a better visual of what's going on. So we use this one that's not exploded. Here it is. Now we want to see we want to have them labeled so that we can figure out what percentage is this and what label or category is this. So click the chart like we did with the other, go to layout, and then you go to data labels, go to more data label options, and here we are. Let's trigger, or let's activate what we want to see. We want to see the category. That means primary, no education, college level, secondary level, and we want to see, great, I think that is okay. We want to see the category and we want to see the value. And here option, you pick best fit. Best fit means Excel will position those labeling close to the chart, or far from the chart, as best as it can be well displayed. Okay, so we choose best fit. You can also choose to have it outside end and they are pushed far away, but best fit works best. Excel will determine where to position them, and then we click close. There you are. You present this to the government. It looks good, but they may not be able to figure out the exact percentages. What they are seeing here is no education, they are saying 9,000. University education, they are saying 12 million. Sorry, no education, they are saying 900,000. University education, they are saying 1.2 million. College, they are saying 7 million. They may not be able to figure out what percentage is that. So you might want to present it in a percentage form, which is easy for them to see, oh, these are very little percentage compared to this, and then they can interpret it faster. So let's do another pie chart, and in this case we want to make sure that the pie chart is we show the percentages. So you go to insert, and then you go to pie chart, and then you pick this pie chart. Sorry, let's delete it. The first thing is you highlight the data. So you select the data you want to be represented in the pie chart. Once you select it, you can now go to insert, and then you go to pie chart, and then you pick this pie chart, and then you move it here, around here. All right, let's bring it down a little bit. Let's move this one a little bit somewhere there. Great. And let's pull this one. All right, let me undo. Let's pull this one a little bit somewhere there, and now let's show the percentages. So click the chart, and then go to layout, and then you go to, let's go to data labels. We go to more data option, and then we want to see the category, and you also want to see the percentages. You can do away with the value. Since we have one here showing the value, you can do away with the value, and then just click close. There you go. So now if you present this to the government officials, maybe the Ministry of Education, they'll be able to analyze this data very fast. They'll realize that 7% of the population have gone up to primary level. They will realize people haven't really gone to school 2%, which is that's a small number. We can assume these are the senior citizens, people who are advanced in years, and so they never went to school in their days. And then there is going to be a concern when the government realizes that 15% of the general population, over 48.1 million, only 15% have gone to up to college level, but 44% have gone to secondary level. That means this reason why people get to secondary level and they cannot go beyond to college level. The drop is really big. Okay, this is almost 50% of the general population. They have gone up to secondary level, but they cannot proceed to college level. So by looking at this percentage, they can tell we probably have a problem. We might want to subsidize college level education. And then they will check university and realize, oh, 2% of the general population, probably university education is expensive, and they might decide, let's subsidize this the university education, or let's make help loans accessible to almost everyone. So this is just a little research that you can do, and you can use Excel to actually come up with very useful information by analyzing data, and you can present it in a way that is easy to interpret and help people make better decisions. So regardless of where you will work, at any given point, you're going to have data that you might want to analyze. Maybe you're working in a school and you want to know something like this intake compared to last intake. How much of our students did we admit? So you tabulate your data from previous semester or previous term, and then you tabulate your data in Excel of this term at the end of the term, and then you analyze the data in terms of percentages. You present them on a pie chart, and then you can tell this year we really had a good intake of students who took ICT as compared to last year, or last semester we had a big percentage of people who enrolled for ICT as compared to this term. Or this term we have a good number of people of students who enrolled probably for divinity, for instance, as compared to last semester. Or we have people who enrolled for HRM as compared to last semester. And then you can ask yourself, okay, what's the issue? How comes that we didn't have much student in this category this semester? We didn't have enough intake of student in this category this semester as compared to last semester. Or you can even compare different intakes for the general student and see, okay, how much of our student did we enroll in the last intake? Maybe you might find out that you enrolled maybe 100 students, and then this semester you have enrolled maybe 80 students or 110 students. You can always see the difference. Then when you realize the number has gone down, you might need to sit down and ask yourself, how comes, or what happened? What are some of the factors that caused this number to drop? It could be maybe you slowed down on marketing. You didn't market very well. And then you can decide, okay, from now on, we are going to gear up our marketing. So the point here is Excel is useful, and it can help you make key decisions. So I want you to really get good with working on Excel, creating charts, analyzing data, master how to work with functions. Now, in the next video lesson, we are going to be winding up with working with Excel. And as for now, I want you to take your time, practice what you've learned. I want to give you a very specific assignment. I want you to create a data that shows. I want you to assume that you are marketing a certain product, okay, or you are a salesperson who has been employed in a given company, and your job at the end of the day as a salesperson, you want to know how much sales you made this month and last month for specific product, or maybe for one product. And so what you're going to do is you're going to have data template like this one. Maybe here you're going to have January, February, March, April, May, maybe June. And here you are going to show the sales on January, the sales on March, the sales on April, and the title here could be, you can enter the name of the product here. Maybe the product is maybe something like what? Pick any product. Assume you're selling any product. Enter the product there, and then show how much you sold on January, how much you sold on February, and then at the end of the day, come up with a pie chart to show which month you sold more and which month did you not sell more, which month pulled more revenue and which month led to a drop of revenue. That is your assignment. After you've practiced, I want you to do that assignment. Tabulate your months, come it down like this, enter the sales for that month for a given product, calculate the percentage like we did here, and then come up with a pie chart that helps you understand which month did you sell more and which month did you sell less. This is practically how you can use Excel in the real world. In the next video lesson, we are going to be winding up with Excel, and then after that we will be heading to a whole new package. But in the meantime, practice what you've done, do that assignment, get good at it, and I'm going to see you in the next video lesson.